Hello and welcome to Mecha Anime Reviews, and today we're gonna take a look at Mobile Suit Victory Gundam. Again. In the summer, I was doing a Gundam month, where I reviewed, well, you can guess from the title. One of the shows that I reviewed was Victory Gundam. The reception to the video was less than enthusiastic, and rightly so. It was a terrible video from beginning to end, and my rage against it pretty much unleashed an eldritch abomination that's going to destroy the multiverse. My only hope is that this video will be an improvement. Sure, there will be people who disagree, which is how it always should be, but at least I could present my arguments in a more cohesive, less inflammatory manner. Alright, well here goes nothing. Victory Gundam was the fourth Gundam series produced by Sunrise, not counting War in the Pocket and Stardust Memory. While the show was being produced, Sunrise merged with Bandai over Tomino's objections. Having to contend with a great deal of pressure from sponsors and other interested parties, as well as constant changes made throughout the show, Tomino grew frustrated and depressed, which anyone familiar with the man knows it leads to a kill-em-all series. Anyway, what's the story? It is the year 0153 of the Universal Century. The Federation has been reduced to impotency. The Zanskar Empire, taking advantage of the situation, proceeds to invade Earth so that it can bring it under their control and dominate all of space. In response, a group called the League Militaire rises up to fight the Empire in the Federation's place. Thrown into the conflict is Uso Ewin, who finds himself to be the pilot of the League Militaire's latest mobile suit, the Victory Gundam. Now Uso battles against the Empire to liberate the Earth and space from their clutches. The animation is pretty good. It flows well, it looks nice, so no complaints. The music is good too. The soundtrack is a varied one, containing atmospheric and action-packed tunes, and it's cool. The voice acting is for the most part alright. There are some annoying performances, but in general, most of the actors give their all with the characters they're portraying. First, the good stuff. I actually like the main characters, despite them not being all that developed. Uso is the youngest Gundam protagonist ever, but his level of maturity makes him a likable character. In fact, the same can be said for characters like Odello, Marbid, Oliver, Warren. Pretty much most of the League Militaire are awesome characters. The action is mostly solid, being exciting, though occasionally lacking tension. The mecha designs are good, at least for the League Militaire. I'm not a fan of the motorcycle-based mobile suits of the Zanskar Empire. They just look too silly, even comparing to some of the G Gundam mechs. The plot within itself is not all that bad, and I like how the Federation gets their act together near the end of the series and finally gets to be badass again. And then there are the problems. The pacing is painfully slow, with not much happening aside from a few battles, which quickly becomes boring. The comedy is obnoxious, leading to some really screwed up and stupid moments, like the Lupe bathtub scene that disrupt the overall dark tone the series was going for. Several characters are annoying, like Catalogina, who betrays the League Militaire because she was rescued by Chronicle himself for being a low-rent Char Aznable while still being incredibly smug about his abilities, Frala for being a low-rent Haman Karn while still being incredibly smug about her abilities, Lupe for being a creepy shunnicun towards Uso, etc. Characters that would have been cool to keep around are killed off because drama, and it repeats a lot of the same Gundam tropes that were in the previous series, making it cliched and boring. As you can tell, I don't like Victory Gundam. I think it's one of the weaker entries in the franchise, and I can see why Tomino would dislike it. Still, in the old review, I went too far in bashing it, so I hope this one is at least a little bit better. See you next time on the next Mecha Anime Reviews.